And we are live here at Vernon Township High School tonight for the boys basketball game of the week on BT Broadcasting YouTube page. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jordan Catelli here with my broadcast partner tonight, Brian Thomas of Brian Thomas Basketball. Brian, we should have a fantastic game tonight. The Jefferson Falcons coming in with a record of 11-6, 8-0 in the NJAC Freedom Division, coming off their latest win against Mount Olive on Saturday. They're coming on, taking on the Vernon Vikings, currently third in the NJAC Freedom Division, led by head coach Connor Healy in his fifth year. He has the Vikings off to a 12-6 record, 6-3 in the NJAC Freedom Division, coming off their latest win, an HWS win in the quarterfinal round against Hackettstown, the 4 seed, 46-35. They were victorious. They move on to the semifinals. They'll play number 1 seed Peaburg at Wallkill Valley Saturday. Brian, welcome, and you got some sponsors we'd like to thank for tonight's broadcast.
Yes, we do. Tonight's game is sponsored by Standout Sports and Apparel. They are local Sussex County women-owned business located on Main Street in Ogdensburg, New Jersey. They specialize in helping local youth and high school sports by providing uniforms, coaching gear, and spirit wear through bulk order and online stores. They offer screen printing, embroidery, sublimation, and much more. Standout works with many local programs like Walk Hill, High Point, Vernon, Sparta, Newton, Kittatinny, Pope John, and more. You can email standoutsportsandapparel@gmail.com, or you can call Nikki and Danielle at 973-440-8474. And, of course, the Lake House Cafe, located in both Andover Borough and Sparta. They offer breakfast and lunch in a great atmosphere. You can go visit them live and in person, or you can order online for delivery. And if you do that, you can go to lh.cafe and receive a 10% discount with the code BB02.
Thank you, Brian. So Jefferson coming in tonight, top of the heap in the NJAC Freedom Division, first place for the Falcons. They're coming on, taking on number 3, the third place team in the NJAC Freedom Division, Vernon. Speaking with Connor Healy prior to the game, speaking with both coaches, Connor Healy saying after that win against Hackettstown, the third meeting of the year for the Tigers, he said this team's really starting to click at the right time.
Yeah, without a doubt. This is going to be an excellent game by two very good and very talented and extremely well-coached teams this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Really looking forward to this one, and we'll step away for the national anthem.
And we're back here at Vernon Township High School as we get ready to start tonight's contest between the Vernon Vikings and the Jefferson Falcons. We'll give you the starting lineups for tonight's contest. We'll start with the visiting Jefferson Falcons. Point guard number 5, Jeff Evans. He's the leading scorer on the Falcons, coming in averaging 16 points per contest. Number 21, forward, Tim Buttonmuller. Number 24, Kalen Reed. We'll keep an eye on him and Evans in the backcourt for the Falcons. Number 35, John Campbell, the big man. And number 40, Luke De La Cruz. And for the Vernon Vikings, they're led by number 1. There's their point guard, Demir Morf-Chess. He comes in averaging over 18 points per contest. Number 2, Dylan Haycoop. Number 11, Alex Fessel. Number 20, Ben Jurowitz. And number 23, Michael Pecoraro. So it'll be Jurowitz and Campbell to jump here to get us going.
Jordan, we're going to have a lot of really interesting one-on-one battles here today. You know, you got Reed matching up with Fessel. You got Big John matching up with Big Ben. So I think we're going to see a lot of excitement here. And actually, what Jefferson's going to do is they're going to come out in a boxing one on Fessel, which is not the first time they've seen that this year. So they should be well schooled.
3 pulled up here by Pecoraro, off the mark. Rebounded here by the Falcons.
Vernon's going to come out straight man-to-man, as they usually do. Rely on their help side defense, their communication, their length and athleticism. Jefferson's doing a nice job of moving the basketball here to start. Again, we talked about Jordan. These are two incredibly well-coached teams with Coach Joe DeGennaro and Coach Connor Healy for Vernon.
Nice save there by Fessel. Keeps it in play for the Vikings, and here's Haycoop bringing it up for Vernon. Fessel guarded by Kalen Reed. Jerwitz, nice feed to Haycoop in the corner. Can't connect. Rebounded, snatched down by Campbell. Luke De La Cruz will bring it up here for the Falcons. We talk about a lot of isolated matchups, Brian, all over the floor tonight. You mentioned John Campbell down low along with Ben Jerwitz. Jerwitz, he should have a nice game tonight. They were looking for him to step up tonight. Connor Healy, he says he feels Jerwitz had a better game on Saturday.
Yes.
Coming into his own here down the stretch.
Yeah, the game they had, the HWS game against Hackettstown. Big Ben played really, really well. And it was a big-time key in their win, advancing to the semifinals on Saturday. But he's up against it tonight. I mean, Big John knows what he's doing. He's a big body. He's highly skilled on the offensive end, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. And, of course, you have Noah De La Cruz here at the foul line, who is another highly skilled player, along with his backcourt mate in Jeff Evans, together they've had an amazing season so far, and they are a tough two-guard front to contend with for anybody.
So De La Cruz hits them both, and it's 2-0 Jefferson. 2 minutes gone by here in the opening period.
So let's see what Vernon decides to do in this box and one. They're obviously going to, what you're seeing here is try to run Alex off a number of different screens. The biggest frustration sometimes when you're being box and one is not the physical, it's the mental. You know, because you have somebody, you know, all up in your jersey the entire game with no room to breathe. So it really tests your mental fortitude and your mental patience.
So this is Haycoop here for the Vikings. Finds his way over to Morph Chess.
And you got to remember, the other 4 guys are just playing a zone. They're playing a 2-2. Of course, it would normally be a 2-3, but since one guy is being face guarded the entire time, it becomes a 2-2. And they're just looking, Jefferson's looking to have everybody else beat them.
Nice find down and low by Morph Chess. Give it to Jerwitz, who finishes with the easy 2.
Which Vernon is capable of doing, as we've seen before. I mean, Demir can get off and have a great game. Ben can play really well. They've got a lot of weapons outside of Fessel. There's that matchup. Good job by Ben staying straight up. Nice jump hook by Big John. We'll take that. That's a good shot for them.
Fessel brings it back up here for Vernon. Haycoop thought about the 3, pulls it back out. Pecoraro gives it to Jerwitz. Jerwitz to Haycoop. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Jeff Evans.
Jeff has had an excellent year. That's a kid that can really light it up. I mean, he could hit 3 or 4 threes in a row. There's no question. So they got to make sure they're keying in on him, which is why they have Demir guarding him.
This is Button-Muller over on the wing. Gives now to Kalen Reed. Evans to Button-Muller. Thought about the 3, getting up in there. Nice closeout by Pecoraro. Evans off the Campbell screen, gives it back to him. Evans can't finish. Rebounded by Morph Chess.
Nice roll by Campbell, just couldn't get it to go.
Both teams feeling each other out here in the opening stages of this one. Pecoraro. Morph Chess gets on the floor, keeps it alive, keeps the possession alive for the Vikings. Pull up three, Fessel can't get it to go. Jurowitz there with the cleanup off the window.
You mentioned kind of feeling each other out, and especially when a team's playing a box and one, it's tricky to find a flow, especially in the first quarter, until you start to figure that out. And they've been fortunate to get 2 buckets from supporting players, which is great for Vernon, because if Alex is going to be boxing one, they're going to need that.
Evans was doubled on the low block, finds Buttonmuller for the 3.
Good movement by Jefferson.
And the Falcons have a 5-4 advantage here. Just under 3 to play here in the opening frame. And a giveaway there by the Falcons. Haycoop was looking for Morph Chess. They were on different wavelengths, and Aiden Karwowski will check in for Pecoraro for his first action of the evening.
So you've got 3 players out there for Jefferson that can really light it up from the 3-point line. And you really got to get all the way out and close all the way out on all 3 of those players, with Buttonmuller, with, of course, De La Cruz, and, of course, Evans.
Campbell finds De La Cruz on the baseline. De La Cruz off the window and in.
Gotta love seeing guards down on the block and the post, using a little pump fake and finishing off the glass.
John Campbell not unfamiliar with the ball out that high. Comfortable with it in his hands out there, the big man.
No question.
Very versatile, talking to Joe D before game, pre-game. Likes what he sees out of the big man Campbell.
Yeah, Big John can come out to 15, 17 feet, knock down the jumper, which makes him very difficult to guard.
Jurowitz unable to handle it on the low block on the baseline. But last touch off of Jefferson, and he'll stay with possession with the Vikings. Catch and shoot, Karwowski draws nothing but air. Haycoop gets the loose ball.
Karwowski, first touch of the day, not really ready for that shot yet.
Jurowitz takes on 2 Falcons defenders and gets the N1.
Big Ben came ready to roll today, Jordan. He's coming off of a great game against Hackerstown, as we talked about, and he's going to have to be big for them tonight. Defensively, guarding Big John Campbell, but offensively, especially if they're going to be in a box and one on Fessel, and he's doing that so far. His activity, we saw this weeks ago, when his activity level is high, they're an entirely different team as to when his activity level is just a little bit lower.
Unquestioned.
And it's not just the scoring. He's able to facilitate from that low block as well, which he does incredibly effectively.
So much off-the-ball movement that Jurowitz provides to this offense. It doesn't show up in the box scores. He gets the 3-point play there to go. Ties at 7.
With a steady diet of these high pick and rolls here.
Getting his hands on the passes. Fessel ends up in Jurowitz and finishes with the slam.
Big Ben with the hammer out of the great defense off the high pick and roll. The steal by Fessel, pushing it ahead. Jurowitz throwing it down.
Evans looking to answer for a 3, no good. Rebounded by Fessel. Vikings look to push. Fessel in the middle of the lane gets it to drop.
And that wasn't an easy dunk either. I mean, he had 2 guys that were hanging all over him, but Ben had that adrenaline, and man, that was tough.
In transition, finishing with the right hand as we're under a minute to play here in the opening quarter. Vernon with an 11-7 lead. Their largest of the contest here early.
And Fessel gets the floater in the following possession, getting it in transition, which is what they're going to have to do instead of just mucking it up with that box and one.
Fessel getting his hands on the ball there again. And Morph Chess pushes ahead for the Vikings. Fessel thought about the 3, got the defender in the air and draws the foul.
So we've talked about this time and time again about Alex Fessel. Yeah, he can shoot the ball. Yeah, he's a really, really good scorer. But I've contended for years that his best 2 attributes are his passing and his defense. And we've seen his defense on 2 consecutive possessions, getting his hands on the basketball and picking pockets and just being a disruptor defensively for the Vernon Vikings.
Lyneth Kanuru, pardon me, checking in for John Campbell here in the final 30 seconds of this one. Morph chess, travel. So the Jefferson possession here with under 20 to play here in the first quarter. 11-7 Vernon leads.
See Alex getting down in that stance. Let's see if they run another high pick and roll, even with Campbell out of the game.
Fessel's been very active on this end of the floor. Working on De La Cruz. Nice feed to Evans off the window. A nice two for Jefferson.
Vernon got caught sleeping there on that last play, just staring at the basketball. You always got to make sure you're seeing the ball and you're seeing your man. Fundamental defense 101.
So at the end of one quarter of play, it's 11-9. Vernon leads. We'll step aside and come back. Second quarter action here from Vernon Township High School right after this. Back here at Vernon Township High School, start of the second quarter. Brian Thomas. Brian, we'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's contest.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Standout Sports and Apparel. They are a local Sussex County women-owned business located on Main Street in Ogdensburg, New Jersey, specializing in helping local youth and high school sports by providing uniforms, coaching gear, sportwear through bulk order and online stores. You can email them at standoutsportsandapparel@gmail.com. Or you can call Nikki and Danielle at 973-440-8474. I use them for all my apparel for BT basketball, so they are reliable and they are excellent.
Just a couple quick whistles here early. And this foul's going to go against Evans of Jefferson.
So after that first probably, 6 minutes or so of kind of slow-paced basketball in that first quarter, the last 2 minutes starting with that Jurowitz dunk, and Fessel following up with that floater. Really the excitement, the intensity, the energy has really picked up in this building.
Vernon's been pretty good defensively as well. Alex Fessel forcing a couple turnovers on the defensive end for Vernon. Big dunk there by Ben Jurowitz in the first quarter. Three from the wing, no good from Karwoski. Rebounded by Morph Chess, only to end up in the hands of Kanuru for Jefferson. And De La Cruz brings it up here for the Falcons. De La Cruz, pass deflected again. Fessel getting his hands in there. Jurowitz up ahead, but an offensive foul. It's going to go against Karwoski of Vernon.
Coach Healy thought he was leaning a little bit. You know, you got to remember in the NBA that, or even in college, that wouldn't count because it would be the circle.
Right.
But there's no circle here at high school, so you could take a charge wherever.
Toughest call in basketball to make. Yeah. Evans gets inside position on Morph Chess, and he'll head to the line for a pair.
But you got to love any player that is willing to sacrifice their body and slide in and try to take a charge, even if it ends up not being a charge. Just the attempt and the effort there to try to take that charge is so admirable, and every coach loves it.
Evans off on the first. So Pecoraro checking back in. Morph Chess will head to the bench. Karwoski will stay on the floor. Jurowitz, Pecoraro, Fessel. And we have a whistle and a foul here on the tie-up underneath. And I think it's going to go against Jefferson.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be on Buttonmuller.
His first, team's third.
And quick, too. Not even a minute in, which, again, as a reminder, you get to 5 team fouls in the quarter, and you're going to be on the line for 2 for the rest of that quarter. So we haven't seen a lot of that this year, especially this early. So that's going to be something to watch out for.
De La Cruz with the interception. He'll pull up for 3. Got it. Big 3 there in transition for the Falcons, and a quick timeout called by Connor Healy.
What a great sequence there for Luke De La Cruz, getting that steal, hands in the passing lane, and then coming down and banging that 3. We also want to thank the Lake House Cafe that's located in both Andover Borough and Sparta. They offer breakfast and lunch at a great atmosphere. Go visit them at lh.cafe, and you can receive a 10% discount on your order. Check them out. They are excellent. I go there just about weekly. So check out the Lake House Cafe. And, of course, don't forget to check out BrianThomasBasketball.com. We just had our first round of spring AAU tryouts this past Sunday. We got our second round coming up this coming Sunday. So if you missed the first round, it's okay. Go to BrianThomasBasketball.com, get yourself registered. 3rd graders all the way up through high school kids, and you can find us on Facebook and on Instagram as well.
So coming out of the timeout will be Vernon ball underneath. 12-11 Jefferson our score after that De La Cruz 3. Foul starting to mount up a little bit here for both teams. We had 3 fouls the entirety of that first period, and we already had 5, just a minute over played here in this second quarter. Karwoski feeds it down to Jurowitz.
And now with Reed out of the game, they have Jeff Evans doing the job of face guarding Alex Fessel in that box and 1.
Karwoski, nice feed to Jurowitz. Working up against Campbell, and Campbell forces the altered shot, but it's going to stay here as its last touch off Kanuru. And it'll be Vernon ball underneath.
Excellent defense by John Campbell, not trying to block the shot, but staying straight up. He's big enough that when he's straight up, he's still a force in the lane.
And an off-ball foul. And I think they're going to get Jurowitz here for Vernon, team's 3rd. His first. So De La Cruz brings it up here for the Falcons. Quick touch out there by Campbell out to Evans. Jurowitz right in the hip pocket there of John Campbell. De La Cruz drives, and a reach-in foul on the Vikings. And De La Cruz heads to the line for a pair.
And you got both De La Cruz brothers in there now, taking up the backcourt duties. This is about the game we expected so far, Jordan. A hotly contested, back and forth, taking punches, good defense, good shot making.
De La Cruz hits the first. Makes them both. So Brian, about what do you expect for both teams here early on?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think both teams are still feeling each other out a little bit. Vernon's trying to figure out that box and 1. And Jefferson's doing a nice job defensively so far. And you're holding a high-powered Vernon team to 11 points, almost getting close to the midway point of the second quarter.
Pecoraro thought about the 3. Works it around. Fessel, guarded by Evans. Acoop drives baseline, up and under, can't get it to go. Jurowitz with the rebound. Short, off the mark, rebounded by Jefferson. And this is De La Cruz bringing it up here for the Falcons. Calling for a screen from his brother. Gives to Evans, pull up, pop, got it.
That's some nice little action there. They have a cross screen. Jeff Evans doing a block-to-block screen for John Campbell. So they look for Campbell right away. If not, you got Evans coming up to the free throw line.
Acoop, got it. Short range jumper.
It's going to be vital for the other guys on Vernon to step up and add some of the, or take some of the scoring load from Fessel when his shots are going to be a little bit more limited.
Evans going to work on the low block against Karwoski, and I believe he drew the foul against Karwoski in the team's 5th.
Jefferson doing a nice job so far of getting to the foul line and having some of their points being generated by attacking the basket, whether it's dribble drive or a lot of post-up situations for them, even for their guards.
Off on the second, rebounded by Haycoop. Kaylin Reed checked back in for the Falcons during that last substitution, and a foul called on the Falcons as Haycoop went up with the rebound. And the second foul against John Campbell, team's 4th.
I believe Joe D is going to get Big John out of the game immediately, as you have Buttenmuller that is getting ready to check in, and that does happen to be the case. So let's see if Jurowitz can get loose a little bit more with the big fella on the bench for presumably the remainder of this 4:18 in the first half.
Can't get either of them to go, and rebound here by the Falcons. So with both teams in the bonus for the rest of the first half here. Might have been contact on the way up there on Evans. No call, rebounded down by Fessel. Cross-court pass here to Haycoop. Karwoski. And staying here, last touch off the Falcons.
And Jefferson keeps rotating. Who is the guy in the box and one that's guarding Alex Fessel? They had De La Cruz on it in the previous possession. Now they have Reed back on him. They've already had Evans on him. So they're giving Fessel a lot of different looks.
This is Haycoop. And a moving screen called on the Venon. And it'll go back to Jefferson.
But Vernon's doing what they have to. If they're going to try to get Alex loose, they got to set some screens for him. And you know what? When you're doing that, every now and then, you're going to have one that's moving.
So as we approach the 3.5-minute mark here of this second quarter. 17-13 Jefferson. We have a whistle and a
wonder if they're talking about a clock issue possibly here, making sure that the fouls are correct. I mean, they have 16 fouls on the home team, but of course, you can only get to 5 nowadays.
They're going to run some time off here. Administrative stoppage.
Looks like we're good to go.
And we're back here, underway here, as we're under 3.5 to play here in the second quarter. De La Cruz. Pass deflected. Jurowitz comes up with it to Fessel. Pecoraro tried to feed it down to Jurowitz. Haycoop picks up the scraps and finishes high off the glass with the right hand.
And he learned his lesson from a couple possessions before when he did the same exact move and he missed the layup. And now he's coming up and under, same deal, but finished it.
De La Cruz guarded tightly by Fessel. Off the screen is Buttenmuller, can't get it to go, rebounded by Evans. Evans fadeaway jumper, got it.
So one thing that Vernon's done a pretty good job of so far is defensive rebounding, but they let Evans get loose there and put it back for a bucket.
Good tenacious defense here by Jefferson. That was Kaylin Reed forcing the loose ball.
I'm talking to Joe D before the game. He said Reed has such a crazy, incredible motor, which is why they feel so comfortable putting him on Fessel.
Haycoop, long 2.
Big shot from Dylan Haycoop. As we said, the other guys on Vernon are going to have to step up and score tonight, and they're doing it so far.
19-17 our score. Kanuru, offensive foul.
You gotta love both teams looking to step in and take charges. They both got one on the board so far.
Zajewski checking in for Kanuru. For Jefferson. With 2:06 remaining here in this second quarter. And nearly forcing the turnover is Kaylin Reed. There's that high motor Joe D was talking about pregame. And we'll stay here with the Vikings. Last touch off Jeff Evans. Fessel, got it.
Reed slipped on that, which was amazing because all Alex saw was this guy on the floor for a quick second, and that's all the window that he needs to get off an excellent shot for him.
19 apiece, corner three, got it. Big answer there by Kaylin Reed.
Huge answer, man. He's fired up. You gotta love to see it.
Approaching minute and a half to play here in the second. Get it down to Jurowitz on the low block. He quickly attracts two defenders. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Jefferson bench wanted to travel.
He also narrowly avoided a 3-second call as well.
Pecoraro with it here at the point. This is Karwoski. Jurowitz calls for it. 25 feet away from the basket. Matched up against Evans. This is Pecoraro. Haycoop now drives. Jurowitz going to work. Kicks it out. Haycoop for three. He got it.
And Haycoop feeling it here in this second quarter.
Tied at 22, less than a minute to play here in the second quarter.
Nice up and under, and then two long jumpers.
De La Cruz off the Zajewski screen, turns it over.
Vessel with the big block, showing it on every possession here.
Karwoski for three, got it. Back-to-back threes for the Vikings. They lead by 3, 20 seconds to play here in the second quarter.
But all generated by their defense on the opposite end. Here comes that high pick and roll once again.
Zajewski sets the screen. Fessel remains in the hip pocket of De La Cruz, looking to force a 5-second call. He does.
Right, he got it. Yes, he did. Man, he was all up in him. You cannot play better defense than that.
Connor Healy applauding it, loving the effort shown there. We're having a quick substitution by Venon. Karwoski will check back out. Coming back in, Dustin Wagner for his first contribution of the evening. They get it to Fessel, under 5 to play. Fessel's gonna let it fly. Just off the mark. And that's the way the first half will end, with Venon with a 25-22 advantage. A nice flurry of three-pointers there by Venon. It's defense turning into offense for the Vikings to close out the first half. We'll step aside, come back. Third quarter action coming up after this here on BT Broadcasting. And we're back here at Vernon Township High School. Start of the second half. 25-22 Vernon leads. And Brian Thomas, you'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors for getting tonight's game on the air.
Yes, we have a couple different sponsors for tonight's game. Thanks so much to the Lake House Cafe, located in both Andover Borough and Sparta. They offer breakfast and lunch in a great atmosphere. You can go visit them, or you can order delivery. If you go to lh.cafe, you can receive a 10% discount with the code BB02. Go check out the Lake House Cafe. Juliana and Kiera will take care of you. It's an excellent atmosphere. Also, Standout Sports and Apparel, which is a local Sussex County woman-owned business located on Main Street in Ogdensburg. They specialize in helping local youth and high school sports by providing uniforms, coaching gear, spirit wear through bulk order and online stores. They offer screen printing, embroideries, sublimation, and much more. They work with many local programs like Walk Hill, High Point, Vernon, Sparta, Newton, Kidded City, Pope John, and more. You can email them at standoutsportsandapparel@gmail.com, or you can call Nikki and Danielle at 973-440-8474. And I use them personally for my online store, and they are excellent. The customer service is amazing. And, of course, check out BT Basketball, BrianThomasBasketball.com. We got our AAU tryouts, our second round coming up this coming Sunday. Third graders all the way up through high school kids, BrianThomasBasketball.com.
And we're underway here at Vernon. Nice read, Brian. Starting five back on the floor for the Vernon Vikings. Morph Chess, Haycoop, Fessel, Jurowitz, and Pecoraro, the five on the floor for the Vikings. We'll reset the five on the floor for the Falcons. It's same starting five that started the contest. Evans, Buttonmuller, Reed, Campbell, and De La Cruz on the floor for the Vikings to start this third quarter.
And Jefferson coming out, Jordan, once again in that box and one. I don't see many scenarios where they're going to deviate from that. So I would imagine that Vernon spoke about that at halftime.
Kalen Reed hits the deck, no call, gets back up. Mid-range jumper there by Fessel, can't get it to go. Morph Chess's rebound, no good. Rebounded by Luke De La Cruz. Luke De La Cruz leading the Falcons with 9 points in that first half. Jeff Evans, the second leading scorer, with 7 for the Falcons. And Dylan Haycoop leading the Vernon scoring with 9. Ben Jurowitz contributing with 8. And a foul there on Fessel. He thought he got all ball, but on the follow through, made contact with De La Cruz, and he'll head to the line for a pair. First against Fessel. Team's first of this third quarter.
Neither team has gone to a full court press. I mean, part of that is because the ball handlers for each team, you know, between Alex Fessel and then you got Jeff Evans, you got Luke De La Cruz, are excellent ball handlers, and they make tremendous decisions. So it's always difficult to press teams that have those types of players that are going to handle the basketball.
De La Cruz 2 of 2, cuts the lead to 1. Haycoop brings it up the floor here for Vernon.
Nice.
Nice feed inside Jurowitz, uncontested, easy two. That's the easiest bucket he'll have all night.
And I think that's something that they probably talked about at halftime, is as they're bringing Alex Fessel through on that baseline, which they do pretty much every possession, he's literally like a black hole where the gravitational pull, he's got 3 guys that are coming to him, which leads to wide open under the basket if they can find it.
That's been the big if so far. Campbell can't get it to go, looking for a call, none coming. Morph Chess with the loose ball. Gives to Haycoop. Pecoraro thought about giving it to Fessel, but he was guarded tightly there by Kalen Reed. Morph Chess on the cross-court reception. Jurowitz finds Haycoop, mid-range 2, good.
His jump shot has been huge. Third one of the day so far for Haycoop.
De La Cruz brings it up for the Falcons. Nice start to this third quarter for Connor Healy and the Vikings. This is Reed. Reed to De La Cruz. Jeff Evans thought about the 3.
Vernon done a nice job so far this evening of closing out on Jeff Evans, not giving him a lot of clean looks.
Kaylin Reed tried to give it to Buttonmuller and a whistle and a turnover, and it's going back to Venon.
He was bobbing a little bit, but the ref looked like he decided that he had enough possession to call that travel.
So Haycoop will bring it up here for the Vikings. 3 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Venon with a 5-point advantage. More chest going to work. Nice up and under. Pretty finish.
Demir snaking his way through the lanes as Joe D is going to call a timeout with a quick run by the Venon Vikings to start this second half. And they're feeling good about it. Joe D wants to talk it over because, look, if you're going to be in that box and one, the one thing you can't allow is penetration through the lane for easy layups. Now, that wasn't exactly an easy layup because Demir made that more difficult than maybe it needed to be. It was a beautiful finish by Demir. So now they really got to figure out, hey, are we going to stay in this box and one? Is it effective, or are they going to come out of it now? So I think that's probably what they're talking about at the moment.
Venon with their largest lead of the game, 7-point advantage here. Coaching staff for Jefferson talking it over, seeing what they want to do. Big possession coming out of this timeout if you're the Falcons, right, Brian?
Yeah, without a doubt. And also, this is a huge game for Jefferson because they're 8-0 in the NJAC right now.
Yep.
So if they win this game, they have an upcoming date with Hackettstown. And if they win this, the worst that they can do is share the title if they happen to lose to Hackettstown. But if they lose this game today and then go and lose at Hackettstown, it depends what Hackettstown does in their other game. But they're not going to be able to win it outright. So tonight is their chance to win it outright. Venon with the 3 losses in the conference is already out of it. So the best they can do is, I believe, 3rd place at this point. So there's a lot on the line here for the Falcons. And Venon, you know what? They want to play the role of the spoiler, and they're certainly also gearing up for their HWS semifinals this coming Saturday up at Walker Valley.
And this is a Venon team that comes in currently 4th in the North 1 Group 2 standings. Jefferson, ironically enough, although leading in the Freedom, coming in 7th in North 1 Group 2 as the PowerPoint stand at this moment in time. This is Reed. Buttonmuller. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Reed again. Here on the wing. Feeds it down into Evans. Evans goes to work on Morph Chess. And they say Morph Chess got him with a foul.
Jeff Evans is a tremendous athlete. He's a really good football player. He's put on a lot of weight in the last 2 years. And he's given himself the ability to be down there on the block. Not just the first time we've seen that tonight. And he uses his body well, uses his strength well. And he's been able to get to the free throw line.
Evans hits on the first. So checking in is Jamison Reed for the Falcons. And Jack Campbell will head to the bench. As Reed hits a pair.
And here they come. That's why they put Reed in the game, so they can go with that full court press.
And right here, turnover right off the opening possession. Reed off the window, can't get it to finish. Loose ball underneath. And a traveling call. They're saying I think his knee hit the baseline when he went down to go pick it up, did Buttonmuller.
So they surprised him the first time. Vernon's now able to get into their press breaker.
Morph Chess gets it into Haycoop. Haycoop gets it back from Fessel, and Venon breaks this Jefferson press. Morph Chess with the right hand off the window, nice finish.
And that is where he excels and is at his best, on the move, attacking the basket. Second one in the last 3 possessions for Demir.
Under 4 to play in the third quarter, pardon me. 7-point Venon lead. Evans off the Buttonmuller screen. Gives it to Jamison Reed. De La Cruz. Fessel's been in his hip pocket most of the night. Evans, 3, got it. Big 3 there for the Falcons to stem the tide.
Without a doubt. We talked about how he can fill it up quickly.
Oh, and they're going to get a foul here on Jamison Reed.
That's why Joe D, a couple possessions ago, took Big John out of the game, because with this lineup here, they're much faster, they're much quicker.
Gone small.
They can go to this run and jump full court press, which they've done a significant amount this season.
Morph Chess here, doubled. Looking for some help, finds Pecoraro. And Jurowicz finishes with a nice up and under with the right hand.
And in a press like this, that middle area is usually the area that's going to be open, and Venon done a nice job 2 out of 3 possessions of finding that middle and ending up with a layup on the other side.
Reed to Buttonmuller from the corner for 3. Bodies hit the deck, and we have a whistle. I don't believe we have a foul. I think the ball hit the stanchion behind the backboard. So it'll be Venon to inbound. Fessel, pass deflected, nearly intercepted there by Reed, and ends up in the hands of Kalen Reed. And Jefferson with the extra possession.
Jefferson turning up the tempo here.
Evans calls out a set off the Buttonmuller screen, gives it back to him. Evans, offensive foul, moving screen on Buttonmuller.
Joe D highly disagrees with that one. He thought his guy was stationary and not moving. The official obviously disagrees.
They've been consistent with the offensive, with the moving screens though tonight, you gotta say.
They have.
Venon breaks the press again. Pecoraro to Jurowicz.
Triple teamed.
And I think Connor Healy got a timeout. Yes, he did. So with 2:18, Connor Healy saw his big man down in the low block, needed some help, calls the timeout. Quick 30, we'll keep it here. And Venon will inbound underneath with a 6-point lead in this third quarter.
Yeah, so you can see with this trapping full court press, I mean, they have 3 or 4 guys on the left side of half court, really just getting after it, trapping everywhere, trying to get Venon to get caught on the sideline or right when they come over on the half court line. But if Venon can do a nice job of being patient and being composed and finding the middle guy or getting a pass over the top, then one more pass we've seen to Jurowicz or Demir, and you could have a layup underneath. The question is just getting past basically that first line of defense with all those quick guards out here. And now they've made a change and put Big John Campbell back in the game, so we'll see if they continue with that press or if they're just going to go to it, you know, in quick maybe 60 to 90-second bursts.
So Fessel inbound to Haycoop. Back to Fessel. Morph chess to Jurowicz, going to work on the low block against Campbell. Can't get it to go. Campbell will win that one. Rebounded by Buttonmuller. Buttonmuller for 3, open, off the mark.
And great box out by Jurowicz, finding the body first and then going after the basketball.
Morph chess takes it to the lane. Oh! And they're going to say on the follow through, Campbell got Morph chess. And he'll head to the line for a pair.
Yeah, because it did look like he had the ball, and I think the official knew that. And that's not where it looks like he's explaining that, yeah, he got the ball, but he also got him possibly on the side of the head on that follow through, like you mentioned.
So Morph chess will head to the line for a pair. And he hits the first. Noah De La Cruz will check in. Campbell will head to the bench. His third. Team's third for this third quarter.
And that's a big one because they had just put him back in the game, so they were hoping to get to the fourth quarter with only 2 still for him, but no can do.
Morph chess off on the second, rebounded, chased down by Pecoraro. He's doubled here on the near side. And it's going to go back to Jefferson as it hits the stanchion from the backboard.
Great job by Jefferson attacking that trapping defense. Mikey had nowhere to go.
Jefferson defense causing a couple turnovers here in this last few Venon possessions.
And with John out of the game again, I would not be surprised on a made basket or a dead ball for them to
go back to that.
Great defense by Fessel, another block shot for him.
And we have a whistle. And a jump ball possession arrow to the Falcons. So it'll be Jeff Evans to inbounds right in front of us here. With 1:10 remaining here in this third quarter. Venon with a 6-point lead. Morph poked away here by Fessel. Fessel off the window, can't get it to go. Put back off the window and in.
Just showing it all. There's those quick hands once again. Attacks the basket, misses, but quick feet as well, getting back off the ground for a nice putback.
The Vernon lead is ballooned to 9 here in the final 40 seconds of the third, their largest lead of the contest. Evans, baseline, tough shot, got it to go.
Nice response by Evans, coming back and once again using his strength.
Outlet pass here, Pecoraro off the window, got behind the Jefferson defense.
Just like we talked about, try to get rid of it quickly and over the top of of that press before they have a chance to really come after you.
Vernon's advantage back to 9. Luke De La Cruz guarded by Demir Morf-Chess. Final 5 seconds in running. Morf-Chess working against De La Cruz. Fade away, got it,
wow.
Nice shot.
Tough shot by De La Cruz at the buzzer, and they needed that in the worst way to cut it to 7 going into the fourth.
So it's at a 7-point Vernon lead. We'll head to the fourth quarter. We'll come back. Fourth quarter action here at Vernon Township High School coming up right after this. And we're back here at Vernon Township High School. Start of the fourth quarter. 40-33 Vernon leads. Jordan Catelli here with my broadcast partner Brian Thomas. And Brian Thomas back down 7.
Yeah, I mean, Vernon's got to do what they did in that third quarter, which is they really got to take care of the basketball as they turn it over right now, ironically, and they got to make sure they're getting great shots because you know Jefferson's going to continue to come after them with that run and jump press. So, and conversely, Jefferson's just got to hang in there. They got to make sure they don't go down, 12, 13 points. They want to be within striking distance, and they've got the offensive ability to do that.
Jack Campbell on the bench with 3 fouls for the Falcons, pardon me. See if foul trouble ends up being something here of an issue down the stretch for either side. As that drive by De La Cruz is knocked out of bounds. It was Jefferson inbound underneath. And another offensive foul, moving screen.
No debate by Joe D on that one. He knew he was moving just a little bit. Because even if you're stationary, your feet are planted. If you move those hips a little bit, the refs are going to call a foul 9 times out of 10.
Fessel will bring it up here for Vernon. Met at half court here by Kalen Reed. Fessel for 3, short. Rebounded by Luke De La Cruz, and he'll look to push here for Jefferson. Evans in transition, catch and shoot 3, got it.
And there he is, he can catch fire quickly. He's got that smooth stroke.
Fessel to Jerowitz, nearly lost it, gets it back. And we have a whistle and a foul against Evans, team second. Is Evans second as well, and Vernon will inbound underneath. Pecoraro from the corner, Fessel for 3.
So one thing about a confident player is that, you can airball a 3 in the previous possession and come back right away and knock down another one from basically the same spot. Most players wouldn't have the confidence to even take that shot after air ball and the one before that.
So Evans to inbounds for the Falcons here.
They have Evans in the post.
De La Cruz trying to feed it to Evans, but Fessel
Little
with the interception.
Yeah, a little too late.
Morph Chess working on Evans. Alex Fessel, he's really had himself a game tonight here for Vernon. Pass intercepted by Evans as he's able to jump the passing lane. Gives it up to Reed. Kalen Reed with it. Gives to De La Cruz off the Button-Muller's screen. De La Cruz in the lane, the floater off the mark. Rebound brought down by Pecoraro. And now Haycoop will bring it up here for the Vikings.
After a slow first quarter offensively for both teams, we've really seen each of them find their groove as expected.
Jurowitz, nice find to Morph Chess, and Evans with the foul from behind.
And he might have hurt maybe his thumb. It looks like he's holding on that as he came down to swipe to try to block that shot. Hopefully it's not popped out. He is a tough kid. But a jammed finger, a jammed thumb, those first couple of minutes could be pretty brutal, especially on your shooting hand, which it is.
Morph Chess off on the first is off screen. Jeff Evans walking on around in the backcourt trying to shake that off, and it does indeed look like it's that thumb on his right hand he is favoring.
Yeah, he's not coming out. Unless that thing is coming out of the socket, he's going to stay in the game.
And a loose ball here off the missed free throw going up to the Falcons. Last for the Falcons. Whistle and a foul against Vernon.
And you got to love that from Evans. You know, he's got a hurt thumb. Clearly he's in pain. But he comes right back the very next possession and tries to get back into the post and make something happen for his team. He's not floating out to the three-point line and taking a couple of possessions off.
Fouls against Pecoraro, team's first of this fourth quarter. Evans gives to Kalen Reed. Reed to Button-Muller. Button-Muller sets the screen. Gets it back from De La Cruz. Three from the top of the key, off the mark, chased down by Fessel. Up ahead to Pecoraro. They feed it down to Jurowitz, and he draws the foul. Team's fourth.
Nice job, Vernon, getting the ball at the floor quickly, moving the ball, getting it to the corner, and Jurowitz diving right to the block.
So it'll be the fourth foul against Button-Muller, team's fourth. Button-Muller remains in the contest for now. Fessel going to work on Kalen Reed.
Excellent defense that time by Reed.
Jurowitz going to work on the low block. And they're saying he stepped out of bounds. Good defense there by the Falcons.
Coach Healy wanted a foul first. They're saying that's maybe why he stepped out. But the official, I believe, is saying his foot was on the line first, and that's what happened.
And we have a whistle on the timeout. Brian's going to read some sponsorships off the air.
Yeah, we want to give a big shout out to Standout Sports and Apparel. They've done a great job. I've actually used them for a while now for my online store, and they do an excellent job specializing in helping local youth and high school sports by providing uniforms, coaching gear, spirit wear with bulk orders and online stores. They've helped so many local programs like Walk Hill, High Point, Vernon, Sparta, Newton, Kittatinny, Pope John, and BT Basketball. Make sure you check them out. You can email them, standoutsportsandapparel@gmail.com, or you can call Nikki and Danielle at 973-440-8474. They are local. They're based right out of Ogdensburg. And, of course, the Lake House Cafe, located in both Andover Borough and Sparta, They offer breakfast and lunch in a great atmosphere. You can go visit them, or you can order delivery. And if you go to lh.cafe, you can receive a 10% discount with the code BB02. And finally, don't forget to check out BrianThomasBasketball.com. We got a President's Day shooting clinic coming up on President's Day.
So coming out of the timeout, it'll be Jeff Evans to inbound underneath for Jefferson. 4:03 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Vernon by 7. The same margin which they started the quarter, and Fessel with the steal and the transition 2 coming out of the timeout.
There's those quick hands. Once again, you have to protect the ball anytime that he is in your area.
Leads back to 9. Evans, Euro step off the window and answers the Fessel 2.
So happy about his response just after jamming that thumb. I mean, he's actually turned it up a notch since then. He's been a huge factor, especially in the second half.
Great competitor is Evans, and De La Cruz gets the rebound. That was Noah De La Cruz, gives it up to his brother Luke.
And they're going to stay with this small lineup for now.
And Luke De La Cruz can't finish. Taps it out to Evans, who keeps the possession alive. Evans goes up and draws the contact. Can't get the basket to go, but he'll head to the line for a pair.
He has been relentless offensively in this fourth quarter. He hit a couple threes, but the biggest thing is him just attacking the basket, getting to the foul line, and hopefully now he can catch his breath a little bit.
Evans hits the first. That last foul was charged to Alex Fessel, his second. Team second of this fourth quarter.
As we expected, you know, Jefferson, look, they've had an excellent season. They weren't just going to roll over and die and lose this game by 20 points. They're tough kids. They're incredibly well coached. And we're seeing that here once again tonight.
They're down 6 with just under 3 to play here in the fourth. Nice feed down inside. Pecoraro left all alone underneath the basket on the baseline. De La Cruz. Long 3 off the mark. Rebounded by Fessel. Haycoop wide open, catch and shoot, off the mark. Rebounded by Kalen Reed. Reed draws the foul with the push. And he'll hit to the line for a pair.
And at this point, if you're Jefferson, that's what you want. You want to be able to get to the foul line, and you want to be able to generate points while the clock is stopped. And they've been able to get to the line a number of times in this fourth quarter. But now you got to knock them down.
Third team foul against Vernon. Third against Fessel as well, as Kalen Reed is off on the first.
I don't think there's any doubt if he makes this, they are going to come up into their full court trapping, run and jump defense. De La Cruz already finding Fessel. And here it comes with this smaller lineup.
So Reed hits the second, hits 1 of 2. Timeout Connor Healy from the bench to avoid a 5-second call. And he'll draw it something up and get his team prepared to face this press. You're down 7, 2:23 for Jefferson. What's Joe Deed talking about here in this timeout?
Well, look, the first thing is we can't give up a layup, as we've done a couple times in the fourth quarter with this press. We have to be aggressive, there's no doubt, but we can't overcommit. We can't gamble so much that they just throw it over the top and get an easy bucket. So we got to try to keep everything in front of us. We got to be disciplined and fundamentally sound. We got to force them towards these corners or towards the sideline to effectively add another defender. And then we got to, look, we got to attack the basket, keep trying to get into the foul line, and we got to defend on the other end.
Conversely, if you're Connor Healy, what are you telling your team here? What's the plan breaking this press? We've had success early tonight.
Without a doubt, I think the biggest reason that he called the timeout, he just didn't like how they were set up. So he may be drawing up something different right now, maybe to have a baseball pass going long, or emphasizing to stay out of those corners. Stay away from that sideline and make sure you keep that ball in the middle of the floor. Don't float passes. Make sure your passing angles are great. And then if we have a layup down here, let's take it. But if we don't, we are in no rush. We don't need to rush a 3. Let's come on back down and relax.
So Jefferson goes small coming out of the timeout. Pecoraro to inbound, gets it into Fessel. They don't have the full court press on coming out of the timeout yet, do the Falcons. Fessel's picked up here by Kalen Reed. Haycoop doubled.
And they're not really doing, Jordan, that box and one. They're just trying to trap everywhere now.
Pecoraro gives it up to Fessel before losing his balance, going backcourt. Jurowitz finds Fessel. Fessel's pass intercepted by Evans. Evans outlet pass to De La Cruz. But we have a foul here in the backcourt.
It's actually not a terrible foul because it looked like they had a layup coming down the other way. It's also 4 on Alex Fessel.
Team's 4, so not a non-shooting foul. 3 fouls picked up in this fourth quarter there by Alex Fessel.
And now each team, the next foul, they're going to be on the line for 2 the rest of the time since they both have 14 fouls in this fourth quarter. So Fessel has to be smart here down on the block.
Long jumper, no good. Rebounded by Fessel. He's doubled in the corner. Timeout, Vernon. Connor Healy gets it. His player was in trouble down in the corner and calls the timeout with 1:35 and a 7-point lead.
Yeah, so now you've seen what Joe D and the Falcons want to do. So maybe they come out in this full court press and we know what's going to happen. But if they kind of slouch back a little bit and it looks like, okay, we're gonna let them cross over half court. The moment they cross over half court, though, they're coming with that trap. So they're out of the box and one just because they can't waste all this time. So Fessel's able to roam a little bit freer, but once he gets rid of it, can they get it back to him? Because they are looking to come and trap, as we saw in the previous possession, with their top couple of guards at the half-court line, out to the sideline, all the way down to the corners. Jurowitz is going to have to flash high post. That's where he's going to be open. But again, if you're Vernon, you're in no rush. But you're going to feel rushed because of what Jefferson's trying to do to you. But you've got to get great shots right now, and they haven't the last couple possessions.
So it'll be Vernon ball down in the corner. They're coming out of the timeout. Favorable spot here for Jefferson if you want to put on a full court press.
So it looks like Vernon's going to set up in a 1-4. They got to be aware of that baseball pass since there's nobody back here. Look for Jurowitz possibly going deep.
Pecoraro to inbound. Finds more of Chess. He's quickly doubled. And it's intercepted by Noah De La Cruz.
Just what Jefferson wanted.
This is Kalen Reed. Reed to the basket. Swatted out of bounds and will stay with Jefferson with 1:19 to play.
That's a big turnover. Vernon could have pushed it to 9 or 10, and now this could end up being 5 or 4.
Luke De La Cruz gets it in. Kalen Reed working on Haycoop. Lets the 3 fly off the mark. Rebounded by Evans, and Evans draws the foul, and that's the 5th on
Let's see who
Fessel.
they get it on.
And that is Alex Fessel, his 5th.
That's right. So this certainly changes the dynamic of this game because he is obviously their primary ball handler. And now you're coming with that full court press.
Aiden Karwoski will check in here for Fessel, who exits with 5.
So now everybody else on Vernon has to step up to handle the basketball and to make great decisions if they're going to walk out of here with a win.
Evans is off on the first. Big free throw here to cut it to 6.
Yeah, and even on a miss, you'll see them coming up all the way anyway.
Hits 1 of 2. Vernon immediately into the full court press with 1:06 remaining. Pecoraro to inbound. Gets it to Morph Chess, whose pivot foot came off the ground, and
yes,
it's going back to Jefferson.
Yes, it did.
With 1:03.
Tensions are rising now. We thought this was going to be about 30 seconds ago. Felt like a Vernon win.
Well, 3 seconds off the clock, and Jefferson's got the ball back in their possession. Catch and shoot Evans. Three,
Wow.
got it, tough shot.
And they got a quick timeout. That is an unbelievable shot by Evans right there. I literally looked like he had changed his shot because the defense was so good by Venon. I was like, there's no way that's going in. And then bang, he nailed it.
And Brian, look how this game has changed. In the minute 6, it was a 7-point contest, and now it's with 54.2, less than 10 seconds later.
Oof.
It's a 3-point game, and now all the Fessel's fouled out. The game has changed. Now all the pressure's on the Vikings coming out of this timeout to execute.
I mean, literally the last 2 or 3 possessions, Venon has not been able to get the ball over half court. So you know what's coming. If you're Venon, you know that they're going to come with the trap right away. The question is, who are you trying to get the ball to? Where do you want to get it to them? And if you don't get the basketball, you got to make sure that you don't run back down the court, because the guy that's guarding you is going to leave you and end up trapping the guy that has the basketball. So you have to lend a hand to your teammate, especially with Fest, because usually if Alex is in the game, like, you can just turn and go because you trust him. All right, but you got to come back and fight those instincts and help your teammates, because you know traps are coming all over the floor.
54.2 remaining. Venon to inbound. It'll be Michael Pecoraro to do so for the Vikings. And we have Kalen Reed here on the ball to guard the inbound. Worf chest goes long. Pecoraro trying to find it to him, and the long pass hits the ceiling of the gym, and it's going back to Jefferson. So another mental mistake and another turnover, giving it back to Jefferson. And Jefferson's gotten 3 possessions, Brian, in less than 10 seconds elapsed on the clock.
And we talked about watch out for the baseball pass, and it was there. The pass was just clearly a little bit too high.
Kalen Reed to inbound here to De La Cruz. Under a minute to play. Jefferson could tie it or cut it to 1. Looking for the tie here is Evans. He's short, rebounded by the Vikings. It's Karwoski with the big board. Jefferson playing defense here, not fouling. 33 in running. And Morph Chest draws the foul with 32.7.
And if you're Jefferson defensively, that's fine. You obviously have to foul anyway, but they almost caused another turnover. Certainly now, if you're Venon, free throws are going to be huge. And also, I mean, look, Jordan, the possession before, Jefferson got exactly what they wanted. They got Evans on the same play that they had previously, and this one was actually even more open. He just happened to miss it, but that's the shot that they were looking for.
Morph Chess off on the first. So big free throw here can make it a 2-possession contest with 32.7.
And no matter what, if you're Jefferson, you do not need a 3 coming down. You just need a bucket. You do not need a 3. There's plenty of time left in this basketball game.
Big free throw there for the Vikings. It's a 4-point contest. De La Cruz pushing, under 30 to play. Evans steps right into it, lets it fly off the back iron. De La Cruz the rebound. Tie up underneath. Possession arrow stays with Jefferson with 21.7.
Okay, we got to watch out for the inbounder here. And certainly got to watch out for Jeff Evans. He's going to be receiving a screen at some point. Diving right to it.
Feed it right to Evans, off the window, quick 2. Timeout Jefferson.
This time they didn't set a screen for him. It was more of a distraction where the players were looking at the guys that were setting the screens and receiving the screens, and he hung out at the free throw line for about 3.5 seconds and then dove right to the block, and they found him wide open. And once again, he finished at the basket. What an incredible fourth quarter he's had.
19.1 remaining. Jeff Evans has stepped up big here for the Falcons, and this Falcons defense getting it back into it, forcing turnovers late down the stretch. And if you're Venon, you're having it coming in. Are you expecting a foul here coming out of it, or what do you expect?
I mean, obviously they're going to try to force a turnover right away. They're going to try to steal. They're going to trap. They're going to take as much time. I mean, look, it's 19-1. If the clock is down to 10 seconds and they still haven't fouled, but they're still over half court, they're going to take one more second to get that 10-second backcourt violation. So they are absolutely not going to foul right away. They are going to go for the steal aggressively and hard, and then after maybe 5 or 6 seconds, if you don't have it, then they're going to foul.
So Pecoraro to inbound underneath. Kaylin Reed on the ball, which has been the scenario the last couple of possessions. Let's see if Vernon tries to go along with it. They get it in, loose ball on the floor, tie up. Timeout Jefferson.
Well, the other ref had a jump ball, so they're going to talk it over and see what's first.
Timeout Jefferson is the call. So it'll be Jefferson ball with 15-2. Brian, they got exactly what they wanted to out of that timeout.
And exactly what we expected. So it was 19-1, right?
Less than 4 seconds elapsed.
Not even 4 seconds, and they got the ball back again, so they didn't have to foul because they forced the turnover. And now you got boatloads of time. So they're going to, certainly they're going to try to score off of the inbounds pass or off of this inbounds play. But if they don't score off of that inbounds, they're going to bring it back out and maybe go into something that they're going to run. So I think they're going to have two options here. Number one is the baseline out of bounds play. Can we score? And then number two, if we don't, this is going to be our secondary action that we're going to try to hit it, at least tie or possibly game winner.
So 15.2 remaining. Vernon up 48-46. It'll be Jeff Evans to inbounds for the Falcons. An unlikely scenario just a few moments prior. Jefferson was down 7. They're down 2 with 10 to play. De La Cruz down to 7. Off the Reed screen. It's taken away by Churowitz and fouled.
And they had what they were looking for. They had Evans going back door. But great defense by Vernon of sneaking into the passing lanes and getting really a couple of different hands on it. And now, of course, look, this game ain't over yet. You got Jurowitz coming to the free throw line, 4-2.
I believe he called one of the officials here called an intentional foul.
Yes, they did call an intentional foul.
Which I believe would be 2 shots in possession, if I'm not mistaken. They've cleared out the lane here for Churowitz. The front ends of the first. They'll get one more. And he hits. So it'll be Vernon ball with 2.3 remaining and a 3-point lead and a timeout, Connor Healy.
All right, so now it's going to be Vernon ball, and now you don't have time to go for a steal. You have two options. Number one, if you can get a 5-second count, that's going to be your best bet, because then you're going to get the ball back at half court or whatever it is they're going to take it out with no time elapsed. But the moment that ball comes in, you have to foul right away because there's no time, 2.3, no time for a steal. And then you have to hope and pray that Vernon's going to miss both free throws. And here's where this rule now comes into play, because if they were only at 5 fouls last year and they fouled, it'd be a 1-and-1. So if you miss the front end, you get the rebound and you're off and running.
Right.
But now you're going to get 2 shots no matter what. So even if you miss the first one, you can take a deep breath and knock down the second.
49-46, 2.3 showing. And it'll be Vernon ball to inbound here on the near side. Pecoraro inbound for the Vikings. Pecoraro gets it into Churowitz. Churowitz not fouled, and the clock runs out, and that's it. The Vernon Vikings hold on for a 49-46 victory. They split the season series with the Jefferson Falcons, and a tough loss for Joe DeGennaro and the Jefferson Falcons on the road tonight at Vernon. But congratulations to Connor Healy and the Vikings. They improved to 13-6 on the season. Their next game will be the HWS semifinals against Peaburg, the #1 seed at Walk Hill Valley, Saturday. For Jefferson, they will fall to 11-7. Their first loss in the NJAC Freedom Division. They fall to 8-1 in the Freedom. They're still in the driver's seat as far as winning the division is concerned. They'll have a Hackettstown showdown later in the season. Do the Falcons. We'll step aside, come back. Brian Thomas will go gather the Vernon Vikings and Coach Connor Healy for a post-game press conference. Our final score, 49-46. Vernon victorious. We'll step aside, come back. Post-game coming up right after this.
All right, we're back here at Vernon High School after an absolutely insane ending between the Vernon Vikings and the Jefferson Falcons, and we are here with Coach Connor Healy, Alex Fessel, and Ben Jurowitz. Ben, we'll start with you. That was a pretty wild ending, but you guys played a really good game overall in totality. How do you feel about the performance that you had? I think you played well defensively. You did a nice job on Big John, and just tell about how you feel kind of coming out of this game.
I feel good. I feel composed. The whole thing going into this game is we got to prepare for Saturday. Last time we played Jefferson, we obviously didn't want it to end up going with a loss. So when they came to our house tonight, I feel like that really motivated all of us to just play and enjoy the moment. And for my senior year, I don't want to waste any time. I want to enjoy every moment and make the most of it. And tonight, I really feel like I put everything out on the line. And I feel like all my teammates did that, and I'm just ready for Saturday. I'm ready.
Awesome. Excellent job, buddy. Alex, so they come out with you guys, and they're in a box and one for basically 3.5 quarters, more or less. What is your mentality when you got a guy who's standing right here, basically in your jersey for that long period of time, and how do you end up finding some flow throughout the rest of the game, which you clearly did?
Playing defense. I mean, if I'm gonna get fronts of the entire offense, it's kind of like a low break in a way. Give my teammate some open shots and play defense on their best player or their best ball handler and try to disrupt them and hopefully get a turnover. And that's how I get flowing throughout the game, especially if I'm getting fronted like that.
So I've always said that your offense is excellent, but I always believe that your defense and passing ability is actually the best part of your game, and that was on full display tonight. So talk about your defense was huge, not just the on-the-ball defense, but how much pride and joy do you take in doing that and also in finding your teammates for open shots?
Well, like Ben said, when we lost to Jefferson, I wasn't there, and I really wanted to win this game. So being a part of like defense and stopping them and stopping their best player, stopping the best ball handler, can get my team in open shots, open threes, like AK in the corner over there, to go up half at 25-22 or something like that. I love getting my team's open shots. I mean, it's better than scoring, in my opinion.
Awesome. Congratulations. Coach, come on in here, buddy. Congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
Winning ugly this time of year doesn't really matter, right? You just got to win. So tell us about how you're feeling about how your team is playing. You guys played an excellent game tonight. Obviously, you had some issues when Alex went out in the last minute or so with that press. But again, you found a way. So how do you feel like you guys are set up for the remainder of the season?
You know, we're getting involved in so many tough battles right now, where we've been battle tested since December 14th. You know, pretty much since opening night. You know, so we know with our schedule, each game is going to be tough. You know, we're going to have to be, you know, fully on. We're going to have to be ready to go for every single matchup. It doesn't matter who we're playing; they're going to be playing us tough. And you know, the turnovers for that fourth quarter, you know, it got us a little bit, obviously, a lot of it. You know, and you know, all credit to Jefferson for their pressure. Coach Joe, he just does an unbelievable job with his kids, and they play harder than anybody, and they do not give up. You know, we had a 7, 8, 9 point lead, whatever it was, halfway through the fourth, maybe 5-minute mark, whatever it was, and they did not get discouraged, and it only made them just play harder and harder and harder. You know, so all credit to them. You know, but. You know, there's been a lot of talk with us, you know, taking down Hackettstown on Saturday night, advancing to the semifinals at HWS, and just, you know, immediately looking at Phillipsburg on Saturday. And, you know, I told the guys over the past couple of days, like, we have Jefferson Tuesday night. We cannot overlook that. It's one of our biggest matchups of the season. It's something that we have circled on the calendar every single year. And Saturday doesn't matter, you know, at 5 o'clock today or yesterday or 2 days ago. This was our full focus, and we had to be locked in because this will just continue to help us build and learn through the experience and just allow us to just get better and better and better and just allow us to try to compete at a higher level to hopefully give ourselves a chance come Saturday. But it's an amazing win. I'm proud of the guys. You know, we had a couple guys who really had to step up in a big-time moment with pretty much as pressure-filled as can be in high school basketball. You know, so we obviously have a lot to work on. We're going to continue to work on those things, especially at practice tomorrow. But getting a win against a program like this, I can't ask for much more. So I'm proud of these guys.
What else can you take away from this game? Obviously, you know, coming out in a boxing one on Alex, Dylan Haycoop stepped up and hit a number of jump shots and was huge on the offensive end. Demir played well defensively and looked to attack the basket as well. So when you have nights like that where maybe Alex is being boxing one and then he eventually got loose himself, what can you take from your guys stepping up in those moments and how it will lead to HWS and states?
Absolutely. And we've been talking pretty much the entire season since December. I mean, really November. We knew this kid was going to see boxing ones. We were going to see triangle and twos at times, especially from Coach Joe. I competed against him as a player. I got boxing one by him. I told the guys in pregame, if I had to put my money on it, we're going to see a boxing one that first possession of the game. You know, and that's what happened. You know, but at the same time, when you have that much attention on one guy, there's going to be openings for the other 4 guys on the court. And while we want this guy to obviously score, shoot the ball as much as possible, the other guys have to step up. And as long as we were patient, you know, we ran some of our boxing one sets, we moved the basketball, we hit the high post area. We knew that if we just made 1 or 2 extra passes, the 1 more passes, we call them in practice every day, we would get open looks. We missed a couple early, but then, like you said, Dylan really got going. A couple of the other guys hit some big shots, you know, just to get us that 6, 7, 8 point lead, which ended up ultimately forcing them out of it, you know. So it's a thing that we're, you know, continuing to work on. But ultimately, it's belief in ourselves as individual players to knock down open shots because you know you're going to get them against a box. You know, so.
Guys, congratulations and good luck on Saturday against Phillipsburg, which is the #1 seed at Walk Hill Valley, I believe, 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So if you guys are around, go to Walk Hill. 11 o'clock this Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. And once again, tune in again on Thursday. We got the High Point boys visiting the Walk Hill Valley boys, which is going to be an excellent game at 7 o'clock. Until then, enjoy your night. See you next time.